Good morning. Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. I guess it's Cyber Monday. As many of you know, if you're on my email list, I don't do the whole like barrage you with a bunch of emails. In fact, this morning, one of my friends who lives here, she lives like about an hour from me, she posted in all caps, I am unsubscribing like a mad woman. And I said, and that is why I said two things this time of year. I love the holidays, but I'm going to tell you, I don't love the overwhelm. It's like we already have overwhelm dealing with, holiday prep and all this other stuff and figuring out ways to slow down and really enjoy versus trying to be a Hallmark movie version of everything. Um, but I said, through gritted teeth, I say, I am grateful for this time of year because I get to unsubscribe from things that no longer serve me. So like, even if somebody unsubscribes from me, apparently I'm not serving them anymore. And if my purpose is to serve, that makes room for people that that resonate with what I'm sharing to come on in and they leave and they go on their way. And I always say, you know, who we partner with on this journey is temporary, right? It might be for a minute, for a day, for a month, for several years. It might be a lifetime, but everything is in transition and temporary when we are in this space. So um so I feel like that kind of electronic decluttering is so right on the mark for this year, in all honesty. The other thing that I enjoy about not participating from the I'm trying to offer you something side of Black Friday is I get to participate in getting stuff for me and getting stuff for my family and Christmas gifting and other stuff that we need. So, I will share some offers that I have coming up with you in a minute. But I did want to share with you some my woo woo haul really quick. I shared with you the Magic of Eye thing, which I just was talking about this morning to a friend before we jump into the weekly energy, because I think this is important because the monthly energy, because we're coming into December this week. But anyways, and honestly, I feel like I know that this time of year and people, I mean, this is going to be probably controversial because everybody's like, this is a time of giving. And I feel like it is. And I think we all, especially if you're watching this, we all are really fabulous givers. We're fabulous givers. And I think one of our big challenges is that we don't receive as well as we give. We can be fabulous givers, and if we don't learn and engage in the energy of receiving in a way that really um really feels good for us, or if we start saying to ourselves that I'm not worthy, or I don't deserve this, or if somebody gives you something, oh, I can't accept that. That business is so out of alignment with what our sole purpose is. We're supposed to be here and we're supposed to love and we're supposed to be open to receiving. And here's why. Here's why. Because it's a circuit. Just like there's like time for rest and time for work, and we kind of have a challenge sometimes resting instead of working, and you can't work all the time or you burn out. It's the same thing with, say, with the whole give and receive thing. You can't give and not have somebody receive. It breaks the love circuit. It really does. And so learning to be as good a receiver as you are a giver is integral. And I think December's theme, like November's theme to me was slow down. Slow down. And to me it was more because we're coming to that end of the year. We are socially programmed, domesticated to amp up in this time of fall that We're supposed to send all the Christmas cards and do all the Christmas shopping and decorate like a fiend. We're supposed to decorate. It's like Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatever your holidays are, and just decorate like a mofo. And then, like what? January, we always say, oh, well, when January comes, I'll just crash and sleep for a week. But no, because when January 2nd comes, you're like, it's January 2nd. I got to start a new year. So, this time of year naturally, honestly, invites us to hibernate, to go inward because it's darker, right? We're getting darker earlier. Like engage those fairy lights in the nighttime, so you have that little spark of light, but you are focusing much more often on inner work, inner work. And so that's kind of why I wanted to share with you my woo woo haul. You'll see this box back here on my chair, and that was full this morning. I wanted to share with you some stuff, but first thing I wanted to share is I love this. So I don't know if you guys have a planner yet, but I was just talking about this with one of my girlfriends. This is the moon plant. The eye. What is it? This is so new to me. I just got in my in a group I was in. Someone recommended it. It's called the Magic of I, and it's Magic of I, like the letter I, not I. .com. And it's super pretty, and it's got a lot of like stuff in there. I mean, super pretty. And it comes in a really cool case and with stickers and stuff. And I posted a picture of it. It comes in a cool bag. So that's one thing I got this week. And you probably can get a Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal or whatever. And then I did not have time to do this. I got these yesterday. And I didn't unbox it because my boyfriend, who I love dearly, he's an amazing Taurus, but I'm afraid since he's also an audio, his training is in audio engineering, and so he's a super gearhead. Like yesterday, he's like, maybe I'll buy another amp and another guitar. It's not like we only have like four. But anyways, I didn't want to open this yesterday. And if you're watching, honey, I love you so much. But this is my new mic, my friend Shiloh, who, if you have not the podcast, she just started a podcast and I'm her guest. I'm her first guest. If you want to go to my website, soulcoachstudio.com, and it's brand new. I haven't even released it out to anybody yet as far as like, hey, show and tell time. But if you're eager, we have this wonderful conversation of how to engage with source energy, and if you call it God, or like the way to stay in alignment. And her podcast is called Hello, it's Shiloh, and she spells her name like Chloe, but it's pronounced Shiloh. But anyway, she recommended, her awesome husband Larry is also kind of like in the same ballpark with Darren as far as an audio gearhead. But anyways, this mic for going forward, I didn't have time to set it up because I just unpacked it. And then and don't worry, we're gonna get to cards in a minute. But this is for like all of my people. I'm just sharing. It's a new ring light, so I don't look like, like on Star Trek where the people had black on one side and white on the other, because my window is over here. I got a new ring light. Yay me! And so I don't have to like use my tarot card decks as lifts under my laptop for the camera. I got this thing, which is what it's sitting on right now. So hopefully that'll be cool. Anyway, so that is my haul from this cyber whatever Black Friday thing. But the planner, the Magic Vibe planner is awesome. And plus I'm yammering on about this because I was a little bit late and I think my chair lowered down because I was reaching. So I got a new chair too. So everything's cool. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's 11:11. Let's get started. Like I said earlier, I think the month of December is going to be about really understanding, how do I work with the energy of receiving? How do I work with that? Like, it dawned on me, I mean, I'm an only child, so I'm always like, give me, give me, give me. I love getting the things. But when it comes to feelings and love and self-compassion, so I'm like, there's ways to receive from yourself and ways to receive from others, and allowing others to support and give you love is a big deal. And I think there's a big difference between, I think people say, well, I shouldn't allow other people to do stuff for me because that takes away my resilience and stuff like that. Here's the thing. As women, especially if we're, women, in some cases men too, because I think men feel like they have to be in charge of everything, and women feel like they have to be resilient all the time. And because of those two things, there's this weird, like, I'm not worthy about stuff, or I'm not, either like receiving love and showing affection from a masculine perspective. I could be totally off because I don't have life experience as a man, but it could be totally off to say that maybe there is a fear of vulnerability as weakness, and that can lead to not being a good receiver. Um, and then for women, which I can speak to because I do have firsthand experience about being a woman, um, being raised in an era, especially since I'm a Gen Xer, so being raised is a second generational cohort feminist era. And by feminist, I don't want to like, run off a bunch of people with this high, like, again, domestication idea of what feminism is. I'm just speaking to the empowerment of women while also retaining your own inner world and inner identity as a woman. That's to me what feminism is. But it's almost like we had to, if we can't beat them, join them. We have to go into it. And that can lead to not being a good receiver because we have to say, well, I work 12 hours a day and aren't I great? And here's my badge of courage. And you go home and you feel like shit and you don't know why because you're trying to compete in an arena that you don't really even want to be in. You want to show up as you are, not as you're expected to show up. And I think because of that, and for so long, at least I'm noticing for myself that when I do that, it doesn't feel good. It feels out of alignment. So, because of that, I want to explore this idea of receiving in December for both receiving love and compassion from self and from other folks that are trying to love you. And you're like, oh, I'm not worthy of that, or oh, I can't accept that, or whether it be from a gift or from just action of others in support of you or whatever, because it's really helpful when, we kind of get into that deep shadow work and say, maybe the reason I'm not receiving or I'm receiving stuff that I really don't want is because I'm creating resistance around it. So there's that. So from that perspective, two things before we totally get started. We're 12 minutes in, but anyways, and I'm going to try and do this quick because I know everybody is busy. So if you are here and you want to chat and you're on the YouTube, go ahead and post in the live chat, which is, I believe, on the right of your screen, which is over here. If you are watching the replay or you're watching live on Facebook, you can go ahead and say hello down here in the comments. If you are watching the replay, do a hashtag replay so that I can come back and say hi. And if you don't know me and you're new, and I'm, I really should get on the stick about saying this. Hi, I am Michele Stange, your co-creative life coach and friendly neighborhood superwoo. And I help women mostly, but any person that is a spiritually hearted person who is usually analytically minded, that to get in alignment with their soul purpose and their life purpose and manifest the life that they effing love. So that's kind of what I do. And I also am a spiritual journey partner. So if that's you and you want to chat, go to my website, soulcoachstudio.com, and scroll through to where you can check out the coaching section. As of right now, I have one spot left for the year for readings. And I do readings. They're our 2023 annual reading. It's 14-card reading. If you have not watched my 2023 reading for the collective, it's right here on the channel. Don't go there now. Wait till we're done. Then go over there and check it out. And you can also, I have one spot left. That spot is for Friday, December 9th at 11 a.m. Central. And here's the deal. Whether it's taken or not, by this Friday, I am closing the calendar. So if you want your spot, you got to grab it. And the link is below or above, depending on where you're watching, to book that session. So after this Friday, I'm closing that calendar and there's only the one session left. So if you want it, you better go get it. And then also, and the reason I'm doing that is because I want to shift my focus to supporting everybody as they move into next year. Because we're in Mars retrograde right now, which is feeling like you're walking in molasses. But in actuality, it's like, because it's in Gemini, it's like, oh, here's a choice, and here's a choice, and here's a choice. Translation, you're going to feel contrast for like until middle of January, which is not a bad thing. I want to get that really straight. Contrast is really just saying, here's a choice and here's a choice. Which one feels best for you? And because we're doing this in Gemini, you might flip flop, flip flop, flip flop, and just kind of taste like you're at the 31 flavors, tasting all the flavors, trying to figure out which one you want. That's the vibration we're in right now between now and January. Come January, middle of January, you can make your choices. But right now, if you make a choice, you might flip flop back and forth. But instead, savor the options. That's going to be my advice for you right now. Savor the options that present themselves to you. And you might want to make a choice, and you could make a choice. And that's okay. But realize that come middle end of January, you might start thinking to yourself, maybe I need to refine that choice, or maybe I need to make a different choice. Maybe I need to go back to what the notes that I took on all the 31 flavors I was tasting and pick a different one. Okay. So really don't see this time as a pain in the neck. See this time more as a tasting at the ice cream parlor. That's the best way I can put it. Okay. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is say, and let me see. We have a Mercury retrograde coming up. When is that? Let me just do a quick look see. That's at the end of the month. Ba, ba, ba. Yeah. Is this it? Yeah. Don't worry, because we can get through the holidays, and Mercury retrograde starts on the 29th. You might be in shadow through the holidays, but all that's saying to you is be mindful of what you're watching. Remember, shadow before a retrograde are the previews of what the movie is going to be. So I haven't really looked into it yet because it's at the end of the month. But this December, it's going to be a lot more of the energy. Like, we've had a incredibly transformational year. And because of that, it can be a bit challenging emotionally. So understand right now, especially in December, we have a bunch of planets going direct. I think one just went retrograde, and Mercury will go retrograde at the end of this month, and we'll get to that later. And Jane, oh my God, hello, good morning. How are you? I haven't seen you. You've been on my mind lately. That's interesting. I'm glad to see you here. But anyways, December is going to be one of those months that is kind of like this, but not as like crazy as October back. Okay. So just know that's coming, and we'll get more into what that Mercury retrograde is going to be about when we get there. But right now, focus on for December's theme, how am I engaging in the energy of receiving? B, because Mars is retrograde, that means action is slower, and we're not supposed to take action. And retrogrades are about inner. So the action is happening within self. And it's reevaluating the actions I've taken, the actions I want to take, where I'm going. And it's in Gemini. So we are having lots and lots of choices presented. So think of it more as opportunity instead of confusion. Maybe start journaling about what you feel good about, what you don't feel good about, what you like, what you don't like. And then that way you have good data to make the decision that you want once we feel like we're going to get ready and go at the end of January. Okay. And the cool thing is, don't worry, I got you right around, because I think on the 12th, Mars goes direct. And on the 14th, I'm hosting the Divine Values Workshop that I host every January, right around when we have those moments of retrogrades going direct, so that we can take actions that we love and that feel good. So I will say to you, we're going to pull some cards. And let me get the journey card. Oh, and by the way, I think it's so funny. Yet I still have not opened all my packages because I ordered some new tarot cards, which I just dropped all over the floor. And I will open them with you guys next time when I have my new mic set up. But because we're starting December, we're going to do 4 cards. Okay. We're going to do our hero's journey card for the month, for the overarching where we are in our journey right now. And then we're going to do our animal cards. So what that looks like. So this month, again, like I said, it's about really reviewing with yourself in radical honesty, radical self-compassion, radical self-honesty of how you engage in the art of receiving, in the energy of receiving. And I don't just mean like money or, gifts or whatever. I mean like love. How do I receive love? Because it's really all the energy of love. When people give you something, it's because they love you. When they give you something beautiful, it's because they love you. And it's also, am I receiving without attachment to the outcome, what I thought it would be? Because sometimes, you know, we receive things and we don't realize it's better for us because we had this weird effing attachment to what we thought we should be getting. And the fact is, you got something better, and it's almost like I'm so attached to the way wanted it to be versus the amazing thing that the universe presented me. So, kind of just detaching from those outcomes and really engaging in the idea of I really open myself up and allow myself to be loved and to be given compassion and grace by others. And I also am open to loving myself and giving myself compassion and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the theme I want to focus on this month. So our card from our hero's journey to talk about where we are in the journey of that. So where's the collective in its journey for those watching that you can't make shit up. You see me pull the card. Okay. So our and I'm just gonna put these away just for neatness because I am a Virgo and I like to make sure I clean as I go. Plant seeds of intention, go, grow, and glow. And I love this. And she's like got these lovely colors of like purple and green and pink. And notice those are all heart chakra colors. We're all still talking about love. Plant the seeds of intention for love and kindness and compassion to give yourself those things and to give them to other folks. Okay. And to attract them to you. And when they show up, say, I am worthy of this. I am worthy of this. Because when you do that, you do go, grow, and glow. It's time for us to glow up in the art and energy of receiving. So for December, honor yourself. Give yourself the clarity of what you want and then go ahead and be okay with receiving it because that is so important right now. Okay, so I'm going to put that one. So our overarching card for the month is plant seeds of intention, which I think is really interesting too, because it is the end of the year and we're kind of all starting to think of what is it that I want to plant seeds of intention wise for next year, because that's kind of how I'm doing things. I'm wondering what the heck I'm going to do next year. I know that I'm going to host a circle, a co-creative circle of some kind, but I am, some of the choices that are being presented to me are, and I know some of you can be like, yes, 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 are the Leap Circle, which would be for woopreneurs, especially for woopreneurs. That want to pursue healing arts, whether it be, energy psychology based stuff like what I do, or energy healing, bodily healing kind of things, or some other, astrology or moonology or any of that kind of thing. And they want to leave their corporate job to do that and pursue that. And they're at that point where it's like, okay, I really want to do this, but fear is gripping me. So I need some support to do that and a strategy. So being a Virgo sun, Pisces moon, and a Capricorn ascendant, I'm like, I look at that and I'm like, well, I have I laid out a method for myself 6 years ago and I did it. Like right now, it's like 6 years ago, right now, I had already created a severance package for myself when I resigned. That was insanely cool when I look back on it, to move into my own woopreneurship. And I can share that with other people. In fact, I've been, it's funny because half my clients, my private clients anyway, are like, I need that strategy. Let's do this. So creating worksheets and exercises that help people move towards that and giving them the spiritually based practical methodology to do it and support it. That's kind of one of the things on the table for next year for me to share with you. But then there's also like a more generic spiritual group that's also on the table. So I'm still making my choices. So you can see I'm pink spooning my way into January. So planting your seeds of intention, my seed of intention there with so many choices, because there's a bunch of others that I could go into, but it would take forever. My seed of intention is for the clarity to come of which of these is what I am supposed to do next year with you guys, and inviting you in to do that kind of stuff. And so that feels great. That feels aligned, that feels manifesting generator-ish, because that's my If we're going to talk human design, I don't know a lot about that, but I know I took a little thing and it said that's what I am. That I can utilize that personality trait to support anybody who wants to step away from corporate domestication into, a free range whoopreneur. So, which I should write that down because that was freaking awesome. But anyway, so let's grab our cards for the week because I'm wandering away, and all who wander are not lost. So we're going to come back. What do we need to know, Spirit, for the energy of this week? What is the main thing that can support us in learning to engage lovingly with the energy of receiving? That's what I think. Okay, one. Ooh, that's interesting. That's really interesting. Oh, I love it. I love this. Okay, yay. I'll put this over here. So I think one of the way this is so funny because I've had so many people when we talk about receiving or asking for stuff, a lot of times folks will say, well, if I receive something, isn't there a trade somewhere somebody else won't receive? Okay, just a reminder, koi fish spirit is the answer here. What do we need to know for this week to start engaging with the energy of receiving in a healthy and loving way? And it's upside down, which means I forgot that I knew that, or I knew that and I don't wanna, or I didn't know that. And it could be any of those three for you. I'm not getting a strong pull to one of the three. I feel like it might be um, those of you watching will know which one that is for you. And what koi fish says is there's always enough. So understand we were always raised like don't take the last cookie. Don't take the last drop of something. Don't take, if there's only two left at the store, leave one for the next person. Right? But what if you needed to? What if there were two left and you needed to make the recipe that you're wanting to make for dinner? And so then you would be shorting yourself. So buying one wouldn't even get the job done. And then you might have to go to another. No, there's a reason. Maybe the universe gave you two. Having that domesticated or programming chatter in your brain is holding you back. That's an agreement or programming that was made somewhere in a generation two or three before us that was based in lack mentality. Oh, leave something. Now, I'm not saying sharing is bad, but what I am saying is this. If you go to the store and you had 2 cans of tomatoes so you could make your sauce, and there's only 2 cans left, and you need to make sauce because you having family over, you need to take those 2 cans and take your ass home and make your tomato sauce because the 2 cans are there. Like, I remember I go shopping with my mom and something would be there and there'd be one in your size and it was on sale. And, programming would say, oh, maybe somebody else who doesn't have enough needs the sale price in that size. My mother would look at me and go, God wants you to have that. Otherwise, it wouldn't be there for you. If that is there and it's calling to you, do not let that nasty programming that talks about lack and, oh, well, I need to leave it because that's not engaging in a healthy way with the vibration of receiving. So the way that you tell yourself is when you start hearing that, crap, that doesn't feel good because you want it, but you're thinking maybe somebody else, and there's this there's more than enough. Whoever needs what they want, as long as they know that that is for them, it will be there. It will be there. There's more than enough, especially right now. So just be okay and receive when you ask for something and it is brought in front of you and say, yes, thank you. More of this, please. That's your job. Yes, thank you. More of this, please. Okay. And excuse me. And back to the whole, and again, you guys know this is my favorite card. It's my number. It's dragonfly. It's my sign. Upside down. Coming in. Remembering this one is the vibration of I knew that, but I forgot that I knew that. Or I know that and I don't wanna. Because a lot of times our itty bitty shitty committee, our IBSC can be so loud and so like guilty-ish and shameful and going on around, especially right now. So it blocks that receiving energy, but knowing that the truth transcends illusion. So knowing that those 2 cans of tomatoes are there because the universe put them there because you manifested them. You were like, I'm going to this store. I listened to spirit. There's 2 cans left. I'm going to take them and I'm going to go home and make my sauce. Truth transcends illusion. The illusion is, oh, there's only 2 cans left. Maybe I need to leave it for somebody else. I'll just take 1 and maybe try 7 more stores, especially during holidays because, peopling is so awesome right now. No. You manifested that shit. You take it, you put it in your wagon or your cart or your buggy, depending on what part of the country you call the shopping cart. And you take your ass home and you make your sauce and you say, thank you, more of this, please. Okay? Truth transcends illusion. Break the old programming, break the old agreements that we have been buying into, that we signed before we were of age spiritually to know I am not supposed to be signing those agreements. Okay? And our last helper card is be fearless and bold. And that's what I'm saying. Take that thing, look at it and go, God wants me to have these. The universe put these in the shelf for me. I called them in. I declared it. I commanded it. Before I left the house, I wrote it on my list. I demanded it. I intended for it. And I decided that I'm going to have it. I'm going to have them 2 cans. I'm going to have a front parking space so I can take my ass into the store and get my things that I declared, commanded, demanded, intended for. Okay? Be bold and fearless while you're doing your manifesting. Be bold and fearless in allowing yourself to receive love, compassion, and the energies in which they manifest in. It could be 2 cans of tomatoes. It could be $1,000,000. It could be all kinds of things. And here's the fucking shit show of programming. The bigger the thing is, the louder your IBSC is about of the programming, of the, oh, I shouldn't, I'm not worthy of this, blah, blah, blah. Be bold and fearless and tell the IBSC, I hear you. I hear you, but that's old programming. I don't have time for this. I need to love and I need to be compassionate. I need to embrace the receiving. You know why? Because when I receive something, the bigger I receive things, the more I can give. I think that's the component we forget. The more love you come into, the more you love yourself, the more you're compassionate with yourself, the more you see love and compassion in the world, the more people want to love and be compassionate with you. And then if you say no, you block the flow, because the thing is, if you say yes and you receive it and you give it to yourself, you receive it from others, you turn around, you give it to the next person. And you create this beautiful flow of love and kindness and abundance that we all talk about, we want to see. Like, peopling during the holidays would not be just a mess if we all could be better receivers. Because all I see a lot is be kind to others, be kind to others, be kind. That's give, give, give. And that's great. But allow other folks to be kind for you, to you. If someone holds the door open, don't say, oh no, let me get it for you. Say, thank you, walk through. And if you want to hold the door once you're through, that's great. Pass on that kindness. But if somebody wants to give you something, whether it's the universe, you, someone else, someone you don't even know, say, thank you, more of this, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is your goal this month. Learn to say, thank you, more of this, please, while you are also dwelling in kindness and compassion for self. Okay, so this month, plant those seeds of intention, the seeds to love yourself more, to be more in tune with self, to be more kind and compassionate and graceful with self. And then when others show up and do that, want to give that to you too, say, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. Receive that. Don't receive any of the other crap. Receive that and then pass it on. And how are we going to do this? Realizing there is always enough, whether it be love, stuff, money, jobs, tomato cans on the shelf, all this other talk on the news. It's all bullshit. You know why? Because truth transcends illusion. The truth is we live in a world where there is more than enough oil, more than enough gasoline, more than enough tomatoes, more than enough bread, more than enough love, more than enough, more than enough, more than enough. And the way we see it, truth transcends illusion. Stop looking for things and at things that tell you otherwise. That tell you otherwise, then there's more than enough. Look for the truth. Look for the truth. And lastly, be bold and fearless about that journey of embracing There is energy of receiving, of dancing in it in a way that feels really good and allowing yourself to know bold and fearlessly that you are worthy, that you are loved, that you are a compassionate being towards yourself and others. Be bold and fearless when you are dancing in that loving energy of receiving. Okay. That's it for today or this week. Anyways, I keep talking about opening up these new cards, which by the way, I ordered them so long ago that I can't even remember what decks I bought. So I will have to open them after maybe I'll do a live stream after I open up this new microphone. It even comes with these big old honking headphones, which I'm not quite sure how that is going to work because I think I'll probably look like somebody off of WKRP in Cincinnati. And if you don't know what that is, you are not a Gen Xer, and that's okay. But I would say to you, get on the YouTubes after this is over and go look it up because the turkey episode for Thanksgiving is freaking hilarious. But anyways, I'm probably looking at an old time radio person or Princess Leia with the big hands on my ears. Anyways, so have a wonderful, wonderful week. Welcome to December in a few days. What is today? Today is the 28th, which is Monday of November. And again, really quick, if you have not booked your 2023 reading yet, and you want to, I have one spot left, and it is for Friday, December 9th at 11 a.m. Central Time. The link is below or above, depending on where you're watching this. And if you don't make that appointment by the end of this week, I'm closing the calendar because I want to move on to focusing on winter solstice, and then us managing and doing things towards moving forward come January, because I have a workshop in January planned for everybody, and I want to focus on that. But lastly, if you don't have this book, this is a book that I wrote when I first came into business 6 years ago. And it is on Amazon, and there's a link below too. If you would like this book that I wrote on how to manifest from a practical yet spiritual perspective, go ahead and grab that off of Amazon. It makes a great gift too for the holidays. You can roll it up and put it in a stocking. Anyways, but those are the two things I got going on right now. And other than that, I will see you next Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. And in between now and then, I may pop by for a live and talk about my doodads. And also go over and listen to the podcast with my friend Shiloh and I. That is now up on my new website. And maybe I'll do a walkthrough of the new website. Who the heck knows? I'm feeling called when I feel called. So anyways, until next week, I love you so much. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you joined me too, Jane, and anyone else that is joining me, whether it be live or in replay. I love you guys so much. I will see you next week. And until then, I will see you in the vortex. And let's dance with that energy you're receiving with love and abundance and joy in the most aligned way possible. Okay? I love you so much. And I will see you next week. Bye, y'all. Ooh, where's my cursor? Okay, here we go. Bye.